Hi, everyone. So this is if you need a little bit of help walking through these two word problems that are going to be on your test tomorrow. So this is the practice test that you should have gotten in class today, and I'm just going to walk through both of these problems and show you guys exactly how to solve them, how to write your answer, and the thought process that you should have as you kind of go through them so that you can be successful on tomorrow's test. So first thing you are going to want to do is we need to underline the important information in our problem. So tickets for the fall musical are on sale. The price of admission tickets for adults is $6 and it's $4 for children. Over the weekend, there were 174 tickets that were sold for a total of $972. How many adults and how many children attended the musical? So you should hopefully know that this last part here is what helps us define our variables. And then you should notice that when I underlined and found my important information, I underlined anything that had a dollar sign, and then I circled the number of tickets that were sold. So remember, we have two types of word problems that we talked about in class. This one here was the first type. All right, and in the type 1 word problems, we said that one equation deals with the total number of items, and one equation deals with money. So you should notice that here's where we're talking about the number of tickets sold, and then these three pieces all deal with money. So they're all going to go in the same equation. So let's go ahead and define our variables. The question asks how many adults and how many children attended the musical. Well, since that's what the question is asking, that tells us what our variables are. We're going to say that X is the number of adults at the musical, and Y is the number of children who attended the musical. So I'm going to change this from at to number of adults who attended. Sorry about that. All right, well, we gave you guys the boxes here to help you out a little bit. We know that when we're talking about the number of each, well, the two different things that we're talking about here are children and adults. So we decided that the number of adults is going to be X, the number of children is Y, and the total number of tickets that were sold is 174. So our first equation is just X plus Y equals 174. That's the equation that deals with the total number of items. Now we're going to look at the price part of it. Well, we know that for one adult, it's $6. If X number of adults go, that means that the total would be 6X. For children, it's $4, and we know that there are Y numbers of children going, and we know that the total amount of money raised was $972. So our second equation is 6X plus 4Y equals 972. So we've got our important information, we defined our variables, and now we wrote both of our equations. Now we have to actually solve this system. So we need to cancel either X or Y. It doesn't matter which one. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply my first equation by -4. And the reason I'm going to do that is because this Y in this equation has a positive 4. So if I can make this one into a -4, I would have my additive inverses. So I'm going to distribute my -4 to this whole equation. Don't forget to do it to the other side also. So we get -4x minus 4y equals whatever -4 times 174 is, -696. And then my second equation is just going to stay the same. So 6x plus 4y equals 972. Now, hopefully, when you guys look at this, you can clearly see those additive inverses. And we know that when we have additive inverses, if we add them together, they'll cancel each other. So that means I need to add my x's and I need to add my constants as well. So negative 4x plus 6x gives me 2x. And negative 696 plus 972 is 276. And then I can divide both sides by 2 and get that x equals 138. So we need to think about what that means. Well, we said that x is the number of adults that attended the musical. And then we just found that x was 138. So I would write 138 adults attended the musical. That's the first part of my answer. But let's go back to our question. It doesn't only say how many adults, it also says how many children attended the musical. So we still need to solve for y. I think the easiest way to do that is to go back to one of our original equations. Pick whichever one's easier, though. The easier equation would be this x plus y equals 174. So I'm going to go right here and just do that. X plus y equals 174. And we know that x is 138. So I'm going to substitute that x in. And hopefully you guys can look at that and know we have to subtract 138 from both sides. And so we get, that y equals 36. But again, we want to know what that means. Well, y is the number of children who attended the musical, so that's my other answer then. We know that 36 children attended the musical. So this is our solution. We don't write our solution as an ordered pair anymore because now we're talking about these real-world situations. Okay, so that is our answer for question number 1. Then today in class, we started talking about this second type of word problem, where we look at these different situations. So Genevieve and Mike are selling pies for a school fundraiser. Customers can buy apple pies or lemon meringue pies. Genevieve sold 2 apple pies and 14 lemon meringue pies for a total of $286. Then let's see, Mike sold 12 apple pies and 2 lemon meringue pies for a total of $158. And then this question is asking us to find the cost of each type of pie. So hopefully you remember from class, instead of one equation dealing with the total number of things and one equation dealing with the price, in the second type of word problems, we look at these 2 different situations. So usually it's for a fundraiser. So when we look here, situation 1 would be Genevieve. And situation 2 would be Mike. So we need to write an equation that tells us information about Genevieve's situation. And then we need to write an equation that tells us information about Mike's situation. And those are going to be our 2 equations that we're going to use. So we know that the 2 types of pies we're looking at are apple pies and then the lemon meringue pies. And we need to define our variables. So this question said find the cost of each type of pie. Well, that means that's what my variables are. So I'm going to go ahead and say that x is the cost of my apple pie. And then y is the cost of the lemon meringue pie. And we're going to see if we can figure those out. So let's look at Genevieve's situation. So Genevieve sold 2 apple pies and she sold 14 lemon meringue pies. And we know that an apple pie, well, we don't know what it costs, but we said that it costs X dollars. So we're going to put an X with that too. And then the lemon meringue pie, we're calling that cost Y. So 2X, 14Y, and Genevieve made a total of $286. So the equation that goes with Genevieve is 2X plus 14Y equals $286. Then let's look at Mike's situation. Well, Mike sold 12 apple pies, and each of them cost X dollars. And then he sold 2 lemon meringue pies, which each cost Y dollars, and he made a total of $158. So Mike's equation is 12X plus 2Y equals 158. And those are my two equations that I have to deal with now. Now I have to solve this system. So this is a review then of what you guys tested on before we went on Thanksgiving break. So if I want to cancel one of these, well, 2x, 12x, 14y, 2y, I think I'm going to cancel the x's because I know that if I multiply 2 by 6, it'll turn it into a 12. And if I just make it a negative 6, it'll turn this x into a negative 12x. So I'd have my additive inverses. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So I get negative 12x minus 6 times 14 gives me negative 84y equals negative 6 times 286 is negative 1,716. And then my second equation I'm going to leave alone. 12x plus 2y equals 158. So now when I look at this, I can clearly see that here's my additive inverses. And if I add those together, I know that they're going to cancel. So I'm going to add my y's and I'm going to add my constants. Negative 84y plus 2y gives me negative 82y. And negative 1,716 plus 158 gives me negative 1,558. And then I can divide both sides by negative 82. So I get that y equals 19. So I still need to think about what that means in terms of this problem. Well, we said that y is the cost of lemon meringue pie, and we said that y is 19. That means then that the lemon meringue pie costs $19. But remember, the question asked us to find the cost of each type of pie, and we've only found the lemon meringue pie. So we still need to find the cost of the apple pie. The only way to do that is to go back to one of our equations and substitute in what we know. So I'm going to go to Mike's equation. It doesn't really matter which one it is that you pick. So Mike's equation said that 12x plus 2y is equal to 158. And I'm going to substitute this 19 in for the y. So 12x plus 2y equals 158. And I can substitute that 19 in there. So 12x plus 38 equals 158. When I subtract 38 from both sides, I get that 12x is equal to 120. And then I can divide both sides by 12, and I get that x is equal to 10. Well, again, we need to know what that means. X is the cost of the apple pie, and x is equal to 10. That means then that the apple pie costs $10. And so this is my solution. Remember, the question asked for the cost of each type of pie, so make sure that that's what you answered. We got that apple pie costs $10 and the lemon meringue pie costs $19. Before you guys take your test tomorrow, we will be able to answer any questions that you guys have, and your test is only 2 questions that are exactly like this. All right, so please make sure you wrote down everything that I wrote down, and if you have questions, you can ask when you see us tomorrow.